Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm trying to wait until it give me the signal to let me know that I'm live on YouTube.
Who's at the door? Mr. Pope? Why do you post every day when you...
All right, come on, come on. How everybody doing today? How everybody doing today? I just wanted to come on. I keep saying it. I just wanted to come on a little bit, and a little bit turns out to be 2, 3 hours. I see I'm on YouTube. I see I'm on Facebook. It didn't send me a signal yet that I'm on YouTube. And I see I'm on X. Um, I wasn't going to come on, right, because I've been trying to rest my mind. Um, and I'm trying to stay out of what's happening in DC, right? And it's kind of tough when you come from where I'm at as a community activist, a community organizer, as a homeless advocate, and as a human rights advocate. And when you tend to interfere with people, democracy, or their civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights, that warrior inside of me tends to flare up. When I see certain things that's unconstitutional, I will flare up. And I was sitting in here and I was thinking about Trump, but not just that I was thinking about Trump. I was thinking about Trump from way back, you know, when he was doing the apprenticeship and stuff like that. And I'm thinking about the old guy and, during the younger days. But I'm looking at him. And if I can get that out my head, now I'm 63, Trump's 78, so he's 15 years younger than me. So I'm thinking about this man that we basically grew up with hearing about, right? And those behaviors that he's been practicing from way back when, they was all talked about then, but we never took it real serious. You know what I mean? Until like now, being an adult and seeing that's the problem. Because I'm looking at so many people, and I'm talking about the women that was affected during that time. Can you imagine how they're afraid to really speak out? And some of them are coming forth. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. And to me, it's like y'all give him a pass so much. No matter what he have done to ruin other people's lives, y'all just give him a pass. And I'm not talking about a lot and now him being the president. He told us, and this is the thing that gets me because it keep running through my head. He told us, he said, I am not a politician. I'm a businessman that happened to run for president. And I had asked the lady, how was he able to do that? Because he has no working knowledge. He's familiar with it now. Don't get it wrong. But when it comes to a degree in political science, no. Because he's been around and he's been doing business, it's like he know how to play and maneuver stuff. That's what makes him, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that's what makes him amazing. Because he know how to lie, manipulate, and cheat. He know how to play the game. He know how to play the game. And that's, I can't get that out my head. If I can get stuff from old days compared to the man today, then I can understand. But it reminds me, I got 32 years from that lifestyle. 32 years from that lifestyle, right? Of lying, manipulating, cheating, getting over on people, doing all that type of stuff. So I see it. I see it in him. I see the manipulation. I see how they play us. And it's not just him. When I look at, like when Elon Musk came aboard, when I look at most of your billionaires, and when I say billionaires, and y'all need to understand, they're not all white. Your billionaires are not all white. And I'm talking about the ones that's trying to dictate and control our politicians. They are not all white. Okay? You even got black billionaires that's in that group too. But we're focused more on the whites. No. And it's all about them and their money. But you know how it is, right? The have and have nots. And if you don't have, to them, you ain't nothing. And then a lot of them you got to keep in mind, because where they're at, as far as billionaires, they have employees. So they have to take care of their employees. So they putting money back in the system, you get me? They putting money back out. They putting money back out. And their tax money, the billionaires, the millionaires, and even us, even the ones that work at McDonald's, Burger King, and all of that, they take state and federal taxes out of them, right? So some of them need for right now. And they rely and depend on the state and the government for extra assistance. The reason why I can say that, y'all, because I'm in it. So I see what's going on. And I see the work that needs to be done for the ones that want the help. You gotta want the help to overcome the crisis that you're in. And this is what bothers me. So the only thing I could think of, DC, I pray for DC, but I gotta go here to Baltimore City. For a lot of y'all that don't really care, right? And it's okay, because it's not for you. My journey is spiritual. Let me say that. I was called to the ministry in 2009, I'm sorry. I'm an ordained deacon. I'm not just a deacon, I'm an ordained deacon. I'm next in line to become a pastor or a priest, okay? If I choose to take that route. I love the position where I'm at right here. I love it because what it does for me, I see stuff and it gives me a chance to run off at my mouth about it. And the good part about it, and if I start cursing, I'm only cursing to make a point. I do not like kissing people's butts. And that's why a lot of people don't like being bothered with me, because they know I don't play. And I feel like this. If you robbing Peter to pay Paul, and when I say robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you're robbing our poor people to fatten up your pocket, and I know that's part of you know, business and trying to make money, so don't knock it in a sense. But if you're doing some crut ball stuff to you know, fatten up your pocket, my thing is stay away from me with that bull jump. Don't let me see it. Because once again, it will remind me too much of the old life when I was hustling and doing that type of stuff. Now, I might not go there, but it will just remind me. And I'll have flashbacks. And be honest with y'all, look, look. I yelled out and asked God to help me because of the life I was living at one point. It was hitting to that point. Either I was going to unalive somebody and spend the rest of my life in prison, or somebody was going to unalive me, and I seen it. I seen my life spiraling out of control. And I yelled out, and it was like, God, please help me. And once God delivered me from that, right, I still had the thoughts of wanting to go back and poison the community and hurt the community. And God sent me a message and said, if you hurt my people, I'm going to hurt you. And it was a guy that shared how he was walking across Park Heights, and the car hit him and knocked him about a half a block away. And God simply showed me that and said, I'll do it to you. And it scared me, y'all. I haven't shared that in a long time. It scared the hair off my head. Not during that time I had hair, but it scared the hair off my head. But look, my heart is for the people, y'all. Brandon Scott, I used to come real hard for Brandon Scott. Most of our council members and stuff like that, I would come real hard for them because the people voted you in. So you work for the people. Make sure you do your job right for the people. I learned down the line that being a politician was a selfish and self-centered position. I was asked to run for council seat, right? Because of the stuff that I do in the community. Now, mind you, I'm a little bit different because I want to see stuff get done. And my biggest fear was, and I'm not a fighter, don't get it wrong. I'm not going to swing on you or nothing like that. You swing on me, your butt is mine. But other than that, I was afraid that I was going to jump out into fights. And I was sharing this with some more seasoned people. And I'm going to say her name anyway. And somebody told me, they said Rita Church mother was a councilwoman and said she ain't had no problem breaking out into a fight. And I bust out laughing, right? Because that goes to show you people that's for the people. So I wanted to say that about Rita Church mother because I was amazed. And it helped me to understand if you choose to run, you can run. But because my heart is for the people, and I know a lot of y'all because you live in a certain way of life, it's like our poor people don't matter. They might be bums. They might be, they hood rats. They might, because of the condition that they're living in. It's like we're just stomp all on them. Well, because I am in the community and I come from that, the rats, the roaches, and all of that as I was younger coming up. The goal is to go back and just help people whose self-esteem is real low. And not just to go back and help people, but you have to come with programs and interventions to help them. Now, y'all know, and I was sharing this with somebody, y'all start calling me the big mouth bald head black dude to insult me. Y'all, I'm talking about my own people in Baltimore City because of my big mouth, and I came hard. The goal was for us to come together. It's just that I'm a speaker. I'm a speaker. I'm untraditional. I am a speaker. And what people have a tendency of doing, they have a tendency of putting me in areas that I'm not, like a scam, like a thief, and all that. No. I produce this. Brandon Scott and them can tell you that. Brandon Scott and them can tell you. Ivan Bates can tell you. Isabel Cummins can tell you. A lot of people can tell you when Steve comes with solutions. Steve comes with ways and means how we can do certain things to slow it down. Now I'm going to let y'all know this. As long as you living in this world and on this earth, the criminal behaviors will never stop. As long as you living on this earth, homelessness will never stop. The point is, when those things occur, you come up with ways and means to slow them down. It will never stop. Because when you got people relying and depending on state and government funding, it's most of your poor inner city people. So how is this going to stop homelessness? How is going to stop the criminal behaviors? Because some of them that's not living right will start committing crimes. Trump know that. That's why he said what he said out his mouth. But the National Guard wasn't the way. They not coming in with solutions. But so help me, y'all set back, and so many of y'all praise this man, and I'm going to do this. And please understand, I'm going to do this. Back during slavery, it was the white man in the big house, right? And everybody that was around him was the plantation. What's going on? Then you have your overseers, your National Guard. So what's going on? What's going on right there in your face? And then guess what? All of them ain't black. That they're doing it to you. It's a form of control. It's a form of slavery. And you praising them. And you praising them. And when he targeted, when he said the black poor community, and then he said the homeless, those are the population, the people that need his help the most. Like with these government funding, these state funding. Now, people like myself, we come together and provide programs with the people that's dependent on state and government funding won't. You give them, you fix programs together where they can work up out of this stuff, where they can be more independent and not rely as much, I'm gonna put it like that, on the state and the government funding. So tell me, please, is Trump doing that? Is he in on the ground level creating programs, creating intervention programs? Those people that's in DC that's doing these types of programs, he's making them feel like what they doing is worth nothing. Like what they doing is full of crap. And I'm only speaking for what we do in Baltimore City. And then if you want to get personal, I'm only speaking what Steve Copeland do in Baltimore City. With over 32 years clean, I sponsored a lot of men and women. I didn't know that the people that come into my housing program, I use the same method on them, teaching them how to be honest with themselves, teaching them how to have faith back in themselves, teaching them how to trust back in themselves. Because if their self-esteem is low, you have to help them build it up. It's a spiritual journey. And it starts with me talking with them. It starts with a conversation. And then most of all, I have to listen to them. I have to shut my big mouth and listen. Because the only way you can address somebody's issue, you have to listen. Tashawn, I was thinking about that too. That would be a beautiful thing. Right now, with that, Tashawn, I do not, right? And I'm talking about Coco. I would not. Don't introduce her to Miss Deborah. Do not. Do not. Do not. Because Miss Deborah is a poison. Do not do it. I know. She said Donald Trump. She said Donald Stump doesn't give a shit. I know. Now, the reason why she's saying this, right, because this is my director with my housing program. And we have some people in a apartment complex that actually we need to get them out of there. We need to get them out, right? Because of the person that I call myself subleasing from. She's just a bunch of so I sent her a message to go back down there because I had to stay away a little bit. I'm on home on. I mean, I'm on parole and probation, so I don't need to come in contact with the police and all of that. I tried to explain that to some people. I do not need to run into that with the police. I don't, because when I call them out to talk about a situation, for some reason I'm always the problem. And then because of my mouth, I'm trying to get a point across, but you trying to tell me from what you was taught, and I understand that, and I had to respect that. So be honest with you, I don't care to talk to the police. I don't, because y'all don't freaking listen. And then I know because y'all was trained a certain way, you'll stick to your training. But it's something about when you're not in that uniform, you'll listen to what I gotta say when it's just us one-on-one. But once you're in that uniform, it's like you blocks everything out. I asked them why they do that too. And they told me once they're in their uniform and their camera on, it's a certain way they gotta act. So I was like, oh shit. You ain't gotta do nothing sometimes. Just trying to explain yourself. And they might want to arrest you for disorderly conduct or something like that. I'm like, man, please take that mess somewhere else. And that's how I had to talk to some of our police. Because their goal is to like, if you ain't doing nothing wrong, you cool. But whatever they doing, they looking for a law for you to break. And I realized that with them. And I was like, oh my God. Because I was telling one officer, right, that came out about something to Sean. That day we had the board meeting, and I'm explaining to him, this is my housing program. I do this, I do that. I'm a community act. He wasn't worried about none of that thing, none of it. Even though Mr. Copeland do this and that, he was not worried about that. He was more like, well, what crime did you like committed so we can arrest you? And I said, oh shit, none. I just had a damn board meeting. And then be honest, I had to shut my mouth. I said, Steve, don't say nothing else. But I did ask him. I said, do you know anything about temporary housing? Once he told me no, I knew I was fucked. I knew it. I knew it. And I ain't saying all of them like that. But I'm telling you right now, because of what happened to me 2 years ago, where these two officers came together and created some paperwork and got me off the street, I don't trust a lot of them no more. And then this stuff right here, when I call you out, when I do a 911 and I call you, please come and talk to me. Because what they have a tendency of doing, if they talk to other people, by the time they get to me, I'm out the deal. I don't care what I say after that, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you. Because they'll be one-sided. And I say, when I get a chance to talk to the commissioner and them, I'm going to tell them that shit too. Uh-huh. I'm based too. What I personally experienced with them. Now, I was just reading what you wrote to Sean. I ain't worried about that. Because number one, the first thing that hit me, if we was to go in that building, number one, the back door was going to get a lock on it. I was going to put a lock on that back door. The only access they will have for a while getting in and out is that front door. So the goal is putting security in that building. And I ain't talking about no little guys. I'm talking about bringing in some big boys. But, and two, me walking up in there, letting them know, this is my housing program. Who let you in here? It's just the way you talk with them to let them know. Carry that bull junk somewhere else. Because number one, you don't come in nobody's stuff and try to take over. You don't do that. You don't do that. And the way I would approach them like the OGs would. You respect the game, but not here. That's the way I would approach them. But I know for one, you have to put fear in their hearts. So you got to come right. The same way they want you to respect them when they out there doing their little hustling and all that type of stuff. Respect the game. But when you start doing dumb, stupid stuff to make us OGs look bad, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. That's why I do what I do. So that part I'm not even worried about. The thing with me, if Miss Deborah, and I thought about that, if you want to talk to me, talk with me, stop going around talking with everybody else. My housing program is in that damn building. That goes to show me she's not a professional. Because why would you call everybody else to talk about what's going on in there? Shout out to Sean. Shut up. Because they ran your scared ass out of there. Shut up. Already know, seriously. Already know what to do. It's just doing it. But if Miss Deborah called me, I've been sending her messages. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with this woman. If she want to keep paying that $12,000 a month for that building with no return, then that's her and her daughter losing money. It ain't me. She giving them a free place to stay. I'm minding my damn business until I can get them all moved out of there. Long as they preparing themselves, our goal is to get them somewhere else. She buying time for me. That's how I feel right now when it comes to the clients. That's how I feel. And once I get my clients out of there, the hustlers can still do what they gotta do. I ain't worried about it. My clients are out of there. You ain't lying, Tashawn. You ain't lying. And that's what they get. I was thinking about that, Tashawn. I was thinking about what Harry Mead did. I was thinking about Harry Mead. I was thinking about Steve Taylor. And I was thinking about another one that I don't want to mention their name. But you know what I'm talking about. When y'all start having meetings behind my back about my business, and I call myself trusting y'all, these was fucking snakes. And forgive me, y'all. These was snakes. And what your name told me, he said, Steve, they trying to duplicate your business. You can't duplicate what I had. If you want to do something like that, you can. Don't get it wrong. Because we need other, temporary housing programs that have a full wraparound. It's a 5-phase process for once our people come in. If you want to do that, say like East or West, my goal is to go West with it. If you want to do it East, that's fine. I don't have no problem coming over and working with you to start your housing program. But you the one have to run it. I can come in and help you, direct you. But then I'm like gone. And one thing I'm gonna tell y'all, everybody, when it comes to transitional housing, I'm damn good at what I do. I do not play. It's a temporary housing program. When my clients come in, it feels like a regular home. And I want your kids to feel comfortable. Because you got people that's hurting. You got people who family put them out. You got people who feel like don't nobody care for them. So when you come into my program, the goal is to show you some love, some compassion, and let you know you're cared for. And some of them, in my case, they will buck the system. And to Sean can tell you, I had to put women with the women. Because number one, once I tell you what it's all about, the women is supposed to guide the women as far as keeping themselves clean, keeping their rooms clean, watching their children, stuff like that. But if a woman come back and tell me, Mr. Steve, such and such and such and such, right, one of my staff, then if I come in like dad, or I come in like unc, I come in like God dang it, what I tell you. Because sometimes some people need to hear that. But it's done out of love. So I know if you don't let your son, you don't let your daughters, you don't let your grandkids stay in your house, I already know your grandbabies. I already know it's a major issue with the mother. No, Tashawn. That elevator works. The elevator works. We just needed a company to come in with the key and unlock the doors so we could make sure it'll go to every floor. Then and stop. Then Mr. Stern, it's something need to be hooked to it. But Mr. Stern was telling me like every 3 months you got to make sure it gets certified. I didn't have no problem with that. My thing is get the elevator running. I mean, get somebody to come in, open the door. Let's make sure it's checked right. But every time I talk with Mr. Stern and Miss Deborah about fixing anything, they always came up with excuses. But that's your building. Then you want to do assisted living program in the building with the elevator not working. You don't want to do shit. If you ain't fixing that elevator, you don't want to do it. Her thing was to cash off the people. Sorry, Plus, I ain't mean that, but it's hers. That was her goal. Was to turn that building into an assisted living program. It's too big for her. It was too big. I said, let me come in with my housing program and I will fix it. Once I start working on this, working on that, we get it up to code, we get it certified. Move to the next, move to the next, move to the next. Her building would have been set up just the way she wanted it. By this time, I'm moving out with my clients. So that was my goal, Tashawn, was to help her. But then when she started finding me attractive and stuff, she was trying to step across the line. I don't mix bunny and funny. Well, money and bunny. Funny, bunny, money. That was the biggest argument. And everybody else knew and told me I should have sold myself. Like, y'all crazy in your damn head. I do business. I'm not stepping across. Look, I don't, and thank God. I have not mixed business and pleasure. And it's a lot of women that I begin to work with. And I know after a while they'll find me attractive because I'm a very powerful, dude. So I know that. But the thing is, I don't step across those lines. I don't. I try not to mix business and pleasure. I try not to. And I thank God just for the day. I have not stepped across that line. Nobody bet not had broken into that office and made it into an apartment. I had a dream about that too. Now, if they made it into an apartment, that meant they had to put furniture and all that in it. That's a big no-no. That's a big no-no. And see, right now, to be honest, Miss Deborah need to push whatever she feel about me to the side, so we can go down into that building and get that stuff straight. And you need to tell her that next time she talk to you, you tell her whatever she feel towards me, because I don't even know that woman like that. I don't know her like that. I'm just learning her last name from when the lady sent me some stuff about her. I didn't know her whole name because it was based around business. And the point is, to be honest with y'all, she mad because she can't dominate me the way she want. And I had told her time after time after time to stop. I told her. This woman would call me, we would laugh, we would kid, we would joke. A couple of days later, she called me, it was like a total different person. I'm like, what the hell is you drinking? But other people told me that she was special. So I said I realized it. But my thing is, you wasting all this damn money on a building, all that money, and you not making them pay you, but you call yourself being mad at me? I'm not your problem. I'm not your problem, sis. I'm home on my Restream. I'm home looking handsome as all outdoors. When that time comes for me to start selling a bit, when that time comes for me to start selling a bit, catch the hint, I won't go that route. I'm trying to drink water. One of these like a day. And this had me running a goddamn bathroom all night. By the time everything over, I probably drink it down to here. But then I'll run to the bathroom all night. Then be like, why am I going to the bathroom? Because you drunk all that water, then you drunk some coffee, then you drunk your Dodge soda. But yeah, all in all, y'all, we got this building. The clients is in the building. And right now, we're at the point. Matter of fact, I met this lady named Coco, and she has a lot of rental property. So little by little, we're taking them out. We got people that's fighting right not to come out. Stop, Tashawn. You on London Street. She got some beautiful places. And the goal is I just want the best. You get me? For our people. And then on top of that, me and Common Sense was talking, and she told me about, I'm gonna say, the Salvation Army. They have a program called Pathway, and they help you with like first month rent and security. So what me and Kevin was talking about, Kevin gonna send them to me, and I'm gonna send them to Coco. Kevin gonna send them to me, right? But they have to sign up for the wraparound services. I'm talking about the mental health program. Right, right, right. Now, some people, if I evaluate them and I see that they can financially maintain a place for themselves where they might not need government and federal assistance, well, say funding to help pay a part of their rent and stuff. If I see they really productive and stuff like that, then I'll go ahead and put them in a permanent place. But I have to see it, and then this time, what I have to do too, I got to make sure that pay stubs are straight. But when you have somebody that get SSI, SSDI, and then they get TCA, it all depends on how much they get. Now, I don't know, and I can't believe it, that a mother with one child only gets $600. Where the hell are they gonna live at off of that? So y'all know, for me, now I gotta reach out to housing authorities, right? For Section 8 form. Some of them would have to get into a place where they really don't pay anything. But the goal is with a mother like that. What's up, OG? The goal is with a mother with one child, 2, 3, 4, 5. The goal is to get you into apprenticeship programs. Say like if you want to take up nursing, or you want to do hair, or you want to do what nails and all that type of stuff. Get you into those type of programs where you can afford to take care of your children. That's the goal with me, with the mothers with children. Now, the men are a little bit more easier to replace in jobs and all this type of stuff. But when it comes to the mother with children, and because now you talking about a mother that's going to need daycare, she's going to need, for the kids and stuff. So all of that, when it comes to the Latanya D. Copeland House of Hope, for all of that, we provide those services. Now, understand, you're temporary. So I have to use the professional licensed people that's on the outside to come in and work with the clients. So the ones that if you license and I'm starting to stutter, but look, if you license and you get paid by Medicaid for your services, yes, I can bring you aboard because you bill them. They already know that. Any PRP, any therapist, any psychiatrist, or I'm learning another name now, right? Any psychotherapist, anybody that counsels and they're licensed and they are professionals and they get paid and they can get paid by social services. I'm sorry, I said social services, Medicaid. Now, Tashawn just threw something up, and thank you, baby, because what we're doing with the housing program too, and she gets contracts. So the Odell Q Sullivan Second Chance recruitment program, right? That's for like returning citizens and stuff like that. But now check this out. Once we get out another apartment complex, like I was telling Tashawn, we can house the ones that's coming out, and Tashawn will put them to work. Tashawn will put them to work. So basically, what she's doing, she's getting contracts, and they more cleaning contracts, stuff like that, right? And that's what she's doing. That's what she's doing to add with the Latanya D. Copeland House of Hope. And then we got the Odell Q Sullivan Second Chance Recruiter Program, which help felons and ex-offenders, men and women. So it's just to be able to start you out with work. Because no matter what, when they get home or they come home, a lot of them don't have a place to go to. Some of them have to sign up for certain places before they can get out, right? So now I know people who do that too. But the thing is getting them out with us. Now, no sex offenders. No sex offenders. No grapes. You're not allowed. All right. And TikTok, I don't know if I could have used that word, defender part. But no grapes. No none of that. And we are going to do background checks. Now I'm gonna say this too. There are a lot of other programs that will accept you. It's just because I deal with women and children, I cannot bring you aboard. And even when I do the men, I would definitely have to separate the men from the women and children because you don't know who might have potentials. You know what I mean? And not only that, you got women that might be children, and might be great assists. But those are things that uh, we have to be careful about. Right, Tashawn? So the good part about it, I'm learning, and I think me and Coco, no, me and Kevin Snowden was talking about second chance, like housing and stuff like that. It might have been Coco too, because the goal is we don't want, say like when they run your background check, and a lot of times I'm telling y'all, if you've been evicted at least about 3 times, that's a big no for some of them, because if you've been evicted to them, it's like you're not going to pay your stuff. So our goal is talking with them to give you that second chance, to take a chance with you, not to judge you according to your background. That's why you have a lot of people that want to talk with like private landlords and stuff like that. I talked with Sammy, and my goal to Sean is to get with Sammy because Sammy has some very nice places too. Now, most of the people I'm telling y'all about, they are black people. Now, it's apartment complex that I talked to, and they are down in, I'm getting ready to say Middle River. They back down that way somewhere. But the thing is, these people that I'm talking about, when it comes to the temporary part, and you doing the necessary thing as you begin to graduate towards the permanent housing, I have to have them lined up for you so you can put the applications in with them. But your money and everything got to be straight too. So to go back to Pathway, and Pathway, I think it's more like a shelter. So they're already taking up certain classes to graduate from that. And from that, from what um, which name was telling me, he said because he's not licensed to help them. And I said, well, that's where I can come in at because I have licensed professionals that will take them to that next level. So now we could either bring them into the temporary housing program. Some of them we might can get them into their permanent place. But now they still have to stay within the program up to a year. You gotta stay in the program up to a year. And even with St. Vincent de Paul, because these people are going to help you basically with rental assistance. So you have to stay in the program because they want you to be able to change the quality of your life. So for a lot of y'all who might think that's wrong or whatever, no, it's not. When you used to running off of poor information that caused you to become unmanageable and irresponsible, you need somebody to help teach you how to be more responsible again. Because when I came into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, they made it clear to me, you must change your old ways of thinking or you're going to go back to doing the same things again. And they taught me things like, right, if you don't pick it up, see, I just picked this coffee cup up, it won't get in you. So now that's with whatever. I'm gonna do it like that. Could be the smudge, could be whatever. If you think about it first, that's what we call the obsession. You think about it first. You thinking about it. You thinking about it. You thinking about it. Now, once you physically act out on it, that's the compulsion part of it. That's why we call it an obsessive and compulsive behavior. Because some people, when they do it and they act out, they might try to control it and do it once in a while, now and then. I'm talking about whatever you might be caught up with. You might do something this day, might not do it if it smacks. You might go that day and might not do nothing. I'm talking about like buying something. Might not do nothing for like a week or two. Then you find yourself doing it again. Then you might get some time behind it. Then you find yourself doing it again. Next thing you know, you caught up and you gone. That's if it's a habit for that individual. So when I look at certain habit forming stuff, right? For TikTok purposes, when I look at certain things that you know that's going to cause you, I'm gonna say a lot of pain and misery, because you caught up now, and that's whatever it is. You know, certain things I can't say for TikTok. You whatever it is, you have to learn to surrender. Anytime I get caught up with anything, it could be a piece of chocolate. Then I'll turn around and eat another piece. Now I'm a diabetic. So Steve, you know you can't really have a lot of this and a lot of that. Oh, we can eat, don't get it wrong. But we just can't have a lot of it. You get me? Because we will abuse it. And some days I might be bored and turn around and eat a little bit of this, eat a little bit of that. Like for me, I had to tell myself don't bring like a lot of sweets in the house. Cookies, candies, all that. Because if not, if I do, my goal is to practice some discipline and not touch it as much. But next thing you know, I might turn around. I'm a chocolate holic. I love chocolate. I'm telling y'all. So for me, it's like, no, you can't have that. You know, certain things I have to tell myself no. And that's a form, you know, that's practicing some control and some self-discipline. You know, telling myself no. You know, I might buy, say like, oh, I love my buffalo wings. I love my buffalo wings, right? And it's the 10. It's the 10 no matter what. When I do buffalo wings, it's the 10. When I do French fries and chicken, you know, it's the 5 wings and the fries. So, you know, and what I'll try to do, I'll try to eat like a couple of wings, some fries, and I'll try to save the rest for later, stuff like that, rather than do it all at one time. But now, basically, the only time I do go get some wings is when me and Lil Steve together. Because I know Lil Steve loves his wings. So we'll stop, you know, after we go out, we'll stop and get some wings. Last time we stopped, I got me some lake trout. And they was good. Cause see, I don't normally order like cheese steak, shrimp steak, stuff like that while I'm out. I normally don't order a lot of stuff like that. And I was listening to a guy today talking about stay away from McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Kentucky Fried, all this, all that. He was talking about staying away from all this stuff. And I'm like, it sounds like you trying to starve people. Now, mind you, I don't eat a lot of it like I used to, the pieces and all that. Once in a while, I might just, you know, go get certain things once in a while. But just hearing him say that, now he's a holistic guy. And he was talking about, you know, that's poisoning us and blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying to myself, that's regular food for some people. And it sounds like if people, I mean, on a natural, right? If they, it's like you starving them. But then he went into the holistic area, you know, and I'm like, okay, because I realized, can I say Palestine? Why you ask me that, Adam? You just wanted me to stop. I'm gonna tell you, Adam. I'm gonna tell you what Common Sense said the other day, right? She said the reason why she used the word common sense because she tried to try to break things down in layman terms, right? And I said the same things, Adam. And do you realize my stuff, Free Palestine? Oh, okay. Okay, I got you now. I got you now. I got you, Adam. Free Palestine. I got you now. It just clicked. Yeah, it just clicked. Sorry to hear that, bro. I've been watching it. It's just so much, you know what I mean? It's just so much that's happening, right? And let me wait a minute, Adam. I was reading something that Tashawn wrote um over here about Trump want, wanting to send the National Guards to Baltimore. Let them come. Let them come. I know. Let them come. Because my thing is, if they come and they don't have no solutions, they just come in the bodyguard, we're going to tell them some stuff. We're going to tell them some stuff. Because one thing over here, now I can't speak for DC because I don't know where they're at with a lot of this, but you don't come in Baltimore City and undermine what we do. You just don't do that. Now we understand if you no no. That's why Brandon Scott and Governor Hogan is coming up. I mean, that's why I'm saying Governor Hogan. Westmore is coming up against them. Because the thing is, don't send them here. Do not send them here. Do not send them here. I don't think our young men gonna play that. I don't think they're gonna play it. I really don't. Do not send them here. They don't have no reason, to be honest with you, being DC. I could see if they was riding and stuff like that over there. I do, Adam. I do. And I believe he's setting it up. This is what me and somebody else was talking about. And that's something that I was trying to watch my mouth for. Because I'm looking at Donald Trump and I'm looking at him in the middle of Ukraine, right? And Iran. Why you in their damn business? Why you over there with them trying to get them there? He's in the middle. You represent the American people. He in the middle, right? Trying to get them to stop fighting amongst each other. But it's purposely that they're attacking their cities like they're doing. And if you realize, yup, there you go, Adam, it's all about money. If you realize they are mainly attacking the poor communities or cities where they at. And I got to watch my language. So y'all think they don't sit down together and create stuff together? Please. Now, you got them over there fighting, right? And he putting his mouth in that. So what y'all think he's trying to do here now? He's playing over here. Right. Now, what I was looking at too, Adam, and y'all need to pay attention. And I said it before. They will never, ever stop crime. Now, like I said, we can slow it down. We can slow it down. But when you bring the National Guard in to try to intimidate other people, that can actually start a fight within itself. Because you got outsiders coming in to try to dictate and tell people what to do. That can actually start boom, 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 right? That's not how you deal with certain things. Now, I could see if say like if they was over here rioting and stuff like that, and you want to gain control, I could see that to stop it. But now that's a riot. But now you talking about a certain lifestyle that people are used to. The same way you might go in Southeast in a certain block or just a certain perimeter, right? The hustlers will move out of that. They will go to another area because, number one, you have people that's using, and they're going to follow the smugs. You get it? So I'm like, this man ain't thinking. He ain't thinking because he don't know. He don't know. You can run them from this area, they're going to go into another area. And if you chase them up out of that area, they're going to go back around to that other area. That's the way the game is played. And then you, like I said, you got people, right, that's looking for the stuff. So they're going to communicate to know where certain things at. I'm like, how dumb can dumb be? Then not only that, you pushing homeless people out. You evicting homeless people. They don't have nowhere to go to have nowhere to go. They did that in Baltimore City. So what they'll do, if you do not arrest them, they're going to go somewhere else and set up camp. So now, if you're coming in and you're not coming in with solutions to the issues, it's going to repeat itself. And there was a law passed that ain't got a daggone thing to do with Trump for some of y'all. The Supreme Court was the one that passed that law, Grant versus Johnson. That homeless people, if they sleeping like out in public like that, they could either be fined or they can be arrested. Why would you fine homeless people? Y'all don't think. Why would you fine? Just to think about it. If you charge them $50, they homeless. Certain ones you may charge might not have money. So how they gonna pay it? And the thing that get me, because y'all all over the world now, when he targeted the black community and the homeless people. And y'all feel like that's going to cut back on your damn taxes and all that type of stuff. You crazy in your damn head. You crazy in your damn head. Your tax money is what pays his salary too. Our tax money is what pays the National Guard for coming over here and doing what they doing. And I'm going to tell y'all, to some of y'all, what he's doing, y'all might feel like it's the best thing ever. But I don't see it. I don't see it. And I don't see it because of the work I do. Now, if the National Guard wants to come with us and help improve things, that's fine. You know what I mean? But if you coming in and you trying to dominate and control, do you think people, it's a form of slavery? When people just driving, and the way I'm watching it now, right? Some of the videos, you right, Tashawn, and she said history is repeating itself. You now, it started with the black community. They stopping a lot of white people and stuff now. They stopping cars. They doing roadblocks and stuff. I'm like, what the hell happened? I'm like, wait a minute. It was just the homeless and the less fortunate people. It was the black community. Now y'all on certain roads stopping cars, period. What's up, Protect? And I'm ooh. I cannot. Please help me with this, somebody. Why is Congress and them allowing this man to do this? If I didn't understand a little bit of the three branches of government, and the reason why they created the three branches of government, so one individual won't have all their power. That's why you got the Supreme Court. That's why you got what, the legislation, the representatives and the Senate seats and Congress and all that. And I'm like, ah, ah, ah. I'm like, why? I want to call Kwesi and say, Kwesi, what the fuck is y'all doing? Now, see, that's that Negro fighter in me. I want to know why. Antonio Hayes, what is y'all doing? This stuff this man doing got to be approved. It has to be approved. And then on top of that, Dante, I understand that the Republican Party are more in control now. So I understand they're approving a lot of his stuff. But I'm like, ugh. Because they work together in conjunction. Right, Tashawn? And I'm telling y'all, look, I can't get some of that out my head because I'm like, Congress is allowing him to do a lot of shit he's doing. And everybody think it's him, and they giving him praises, putting him over top of Jesus Christ and all that stuff. I'm like, if y'all understand the three branches, and then if you look it up, if y'all look up, because y'all kill me with his policy shit, he don't create no policies. He do not do that. He do not do it. I researched all of that, Dante, Tashawn. I researched all of that. He don't write no policy. Matter of fact, if you look at it, he don't have time to do that shit. He ain't got time to be with his family. Y'all so busy looking at him. He ain't got time to be with his wife. His son. And his son is still young. You don't see him hanging out with his son. You don't see him doing stuff with his son. But you seen Obama with his family, right? And then y'all want to knock Obama. This man do not spend time in his baby Pampers with his family. Can y'all imagine how they feel to know your father? And this boy's still a kid. He what, about 20? Your father running around, because that's what my daughter told me. And she lied because she knows she spoiled as heck. But she gonna tell me one day, right, you doing everything for everybody else. I said, Sienna, you get ready to become a lawyer. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're gonna be doing the same things your father doing, representing the people. And then you got a boyfriend. Y'all go on dates. Y'all see each other. I ain't got none. I'm talking about girlfriend. So my daughter gonna say, Dad, because you helping everybody else, and I help you too. Don't even be trying to play with me. Y'all don't need daddy like most people do. And then you got a boyfriend. I ain't got a girlfriend. So I gotta sit in and talk to myself. go on dates by myself. Now, I haven't did that in a while. So up here and tell me I help her. Girl, you better cut that bull junk out. And when I call you and tell you I need this done, that done, and you be right there gonna tell me, come on, stop playing with me. I don't know where mine was at that day. But look, I told my daughter, I said, you know what? Cause y'all know this will get me with them. My oldest daughter is an LPN. My mother used to work in a nursing home. So my oldest daughter is basically doing what my mother used to do. My sister works in the hospital too. My niece, I was going to say most of them, work in the hospital too. A lot of them are doing what their grandmother used to do. Don't even realize it. Because my mother passed before my mother passed in 88, right? But they don't realize. Now, my oldest daughter, LPN, my stepdaughter, which is my daughter, is working with I don't know what her position is, but she gives out medication and stuff to recovering addicts. Still suffering coming in, right? TikTok purpose. I have to watch certain words, but we love TikTok. But now it amazed me because I'm like, all this stuff y'all father do to help build back up in the community. Do you realize y'all doing the same things? Like working with people? You working with people, just like your dad. Mostly all of them. My nieces and nephews, all of them work with the public. But then y'all act like y'all don't know what your uncle do or your father do. And that's why when I mention the word community, here's the problem, Don. Dante wrote, he is the problem. He talking about Trump. Here's the problem with how Trump is using our democracy, right? He is using the majority rule from Congress, the majority leverage from the judicial branch to increase, let me make sure I'm saying it right, his executive powers. He is also using this majority rule and white privilege to get away with, and I'm starting to see this, Dante. And Dante wrote the rule and the white privilege to get away with the things that Barack Obama could never think of doing. There are several things we can do. Know that executive orders are temporary and only last as so long. And I'm gonna tell you, Dante, not to jump away from, because I appreciate what you put in here. Know that the executive orders are temporary and only last so long as he is in office. Second, Trump needs congressional agreement for budget. And that's what I was talking about when I said something about Kwesi and them. But then I had to realize too, Dante, that in Congress, the Republican, that's the majority that rules. So the Democrats are fighting against the Republicans. So that's why he's able, and thank you for putting that there too. Trump need congressional agreement for the budget. Thus, without the Democrats, the majority of Trump's 7.8 trillion budget would not pass if the Democrats rebelled. Third, district courts cannot officially stop him with some federal actions because there is no armed authority to force him to comply. Now, I'm going to say this because I was listening to Westmore, and whatever Westmore position is at in the armed force, because he got the power to do certain things, right, with the armed force. Now, I'm kind of going back to, and I might not be able to quote the words right, when this guy was telling me, a veteran, he was telling me it's certain portions of like the armed force that he can cause to do things. But other than that, he would need Congress to agree for the full God dang it, Dante, you putting the right words there. But that was something that a veteran was telling me. If y'all realized it, Jasmine Crockett, when he sent the armed forces over to Ukraine or one of them places, remember what she said? He did that without Congress approval. But now, once again, that's the Democratic approvals because they got to come together to approve things. But then you have Congress, the Republicans that more seated than Democrats. So now I'm just reading what Dante put here, y'all. Let me go back. Third district courts cannot officially stop him with some federal actions because there is no armed authority to force him to comply. However, if a citizen militant similar to the MPS with arms and numbers stood before Trump with the message, you will comply. And I was looking at that too. Trump would have to yield. The power to stop Trump is in our hands. Ah! And you know what? I thought the same things, Dante. And see, the point is, I'm just saying it's not to rebel in a sense where it will cause life, losing lives, but you gotta come up. Dante was saying, you gotta come up. And that's what I'm seeing. If they come in Baltimore City, they're gonna come up against them. They're gonna come up. I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. I can't speak for no other place. I've been living in Baltimore City for 63 years. And I can tell you, them illegal pew-pews, they allowing us to, they floating down into the city. It's a lot of them out there with that. It's a lot of them out there with the same type of pew-pews that the armed force carry. Okay? And my biggest thing is I don't want nobody to come out in a rebellious point of, trying to take people down because then, but we gotta come. We gotta come. We got to come together to let Trump know enough is enough is enough. It would disappoint me, and I'm only sharing this, y'all, because I can only speak for what's happening over here. It would disappoint me, right, as a person that's a community activist, as a person that's a community organizer, a homeless advocate. It's all about the people to me. It's all about us helping the people. It's all about us reducing. And I have to watch it for TikTok's sake once again. I showed a video it was me. It was about 4 years ago. When I tell y'all our goal was to get the spy plane here over Baltimore City was to reduce the unalive rate, right? Was to encourage and motivate our young men to stop doing what they was doing to each other. You know what I mean? Taking each other out. Okay. Not only that, we fought to get the plane. We fought. They created a bill, Dante. They created a bill. And I have to watch that word because I don't know if TikTok might hit me. But the powder, the poison that's poured into the black community that's taking our people down. Y'all know that was deliberate, right? It became an epidemic. I might can use that word for TikTok. So they created a bill for safe consumption sites. So listen to what I'm saying. As a recovering addict, Dante, I was not going to help them fight that bill because I believe in total abstinence. But when I realized so many people was being found unalive because of that poison that was spreaded into the community, right? I told my director, I said, I'll help y'all get that bill passed because it was about saving lives. The bill got to Congress, Dante, and Congress rejected it. And I said, they just want people to die, right? So when they had that, um, oh, oh, when they had that thing on Pennsylvania Avenue, and I went to one of those meetings, and I opened up my mouth as I do, right? And I shared my personal experience with them. And all of these was basically white people, doctors, scientists, all of that. Because my thing is, I'm gonna share with you what's so important in building back up in the black community. Why? So I ended up talking with them again to ask them, did they know anything about that bill that we tried to get passed? A lot of them said they didn't. But it was a Jewish girl in there that we all fought to get that bill passed. And that's what made me ask them because of the outbreak, right? And please try to catch it, y'all, because I don't want to get flagged with TikTok, right? Because I want to make some little videos of this. What happened on Pennsylvania? We was trying to avoid this 6 years ago, and it repeated itself. Hey, Kay, Brandon Scott and them got $460 million to fight that. It was deliberately poured into the community. Sad. Sad. When I got that phone call, I hauled tail over Pennsylvania Avenue because I knew what time it was. So, in a way, y'all, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired. I slept, Dante. I slept. I was not. I'm like, I ain't turned the TV on. I slept because I'm looking at some stuff that I see what's happening with us, you know, and I don't like it. I was just reading what Tashawn wrote. But as a human rights advocate, and we fight, like Dante just said, for the democracy of the people. We fight for your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights. And the way things are trying to be fixed, it's like they're trying to dismantle, you know, um, what people like Martin Luther King and them fought for. And when we talk about your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights, and let me tell you this, when I tell y'all that we fight for the democracy of our people, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm not just talking about black people. It's the powers that be. It's the powers that be. I was talking to Dante Common Sense, and I was telling her when they locked me up 2 years ago, God took me from Genesis straight to Revelations. I did not know that organized religion and politics was the same. It's a form of control. It's a form of discipline. And Pharaoh, and I'm trying to get, because I said it myself until Common Sense cleared it up last night. And we were talking about Pharaoh is your government. I said I kept saying it. I kept saying it because I'm looking at the city, but I'm looking at the power of the people that has control. And you got to look at how they tried to control the Israelites because they was about to outgrow them. So when we have certain countries that tends to destroy, and I guarantee you it's more like your low to moderate income people communities over there when they start bombing stuff up. What y'all think they might try to do it? Trump said it. The black inner city community. They criminals, they this, they that. And I'm looking at his words. I'm like, no, the hell you didn't. And then went right to the homeless. Like, wipe them out. And then you got so many of y'all, yeah, get them. Take them out. We talking about lives. And y'all like, I said, no, the hell you didn't. Is that your form of making America great again? To destroy the people that need you the most? And a lot of y'all agree with that? The hell? Well, see, and you will justify that bull crap. And I'm telling y'all, I watched this over DC. It might have started with them, but now they're doing side road stopping people. And all of them ain't black. I'm like, oh, I see where you going, bro. I see where you going. And I can see him now talking with Putin and all them, all them other people. Say, yeah, now this what I'm gonna do over here in America now, bro. Yeah, watch me. I'm getting, come on, we gonna y'all think Trump ain't been knowing these people way before he became president? Huh? He's a fucking billionaire, so he's been traveling his life. Business with them. You think they ain't bumping fists? Man, come on, man, we gonna drop a bomb over here and we gonna take some here. Yeah, you go ahead, bro, go ahead. Pull them together. Kingpins. That's a form of control and dominating. And my thing right in his own backyard. His own backyard. His own backyard. Home. Right home. Like, what the fuck? My heart go out to DC. The people voted him in. The people got to come together. You know what, Sean? Everything you just wrote right there, and you know, I started looking at that. I started looking at this is, I'm talking about Trump. I started looking at Jesus Christ ain't got nothing on this Trump. Jesus Christ ain't, it's like, y'all, hallelujah, hallelujah, and I'm gonna tell y'all now, every Republican is not for Trump. And I run across a lot of people. They are Republicans because of what Republicans stand for, but a lot of them are not for Trump. They are not. You looking at one right here. I became a Republican, but I think my mindset is more like independent, and I didn't understand it till somebody ran it across me. But I became a Republican because of the things that they told me they wanted to come in the city and help the people, teach our people to be more independent and responsible for themselves. So here I go, watch this, y'all. I'm like right here in the middle. The Republicans right here, the Democrats over here. So I'm right here in the middle. So I'm looking for the Republican Party. Please don't play me. Do not play me. Do not play me. Because I'm looking for the Republican Party for what they said. And I'm standing by myself. So you can come in here talking that Gucci bull junk to me all you want. I am very, very disappointed in them. Very. Because they made me think that they was going to come in. And I'm talking about mainly our inner city. Because their goal was to help teach the poor inner city people to be more responsible and productive so they won't have to rely on state and government funding. That's what I loved about it. Or that's what I love about it. Right? But the thing is, where y'all at? Where you at? Where you at? They good at having gatherings at each other's functions, bonfires. I mean, cook out stuff like that. Because guess what? They some partying people. I can tell you that. That's what me and Dr. J was talking about. One thing about them, they party. And they good for breaking out amongst fights with each other. If y'all didn't know that. They will break out into a fight with each other quick. But then turn around and talk this spiritual bull junk. Know how I know that? Because I was at certain events that they had and they would get ready to fight. And I even heard when I didn't show up to certain events that such and such got into fights. I'm telling you. So I want somebody to tell me, no, they're not. Oh, yeah, baby. Tashawn said it's called the Holy Ghost. They speak in tongues. But I'm going to tell you, they are, to Tashawn, they are very, very spiritual. They spiritual. But I don't know what spirit they serving. I can tell you right now, they spiritual, but I don't know what spirit they serving. Come on. I had to block this dude. I'm telling you, we did protests together. We did this guy. I blocked him white guy. Because every time he posted something, it had something against the black person. And then people would come in. And when I was reading one, somebody said, oh, they need to be hung. I said, oh, no, you did not. And after that, I blocked him. I said, I can't believe, bro. And I want to call him so bad and tell him, bro, I can't believe you posting stuff like that on your stuff. Now, I took it for a joke for a while. But then when I start seeing it for what it is, when I start seeing that mess, and I blocked him. And you remember the officer, the female officer, Tashawn, that I'm trying to think of her name, Tashawn. The female officer that they took down. We did a candlelight vision. Me and this guy, a couple of other, white people and all that, did a candlelight vision for this lady, this officer. This guy had an issue in Middle River. Because my thing is, he real good for helping, well, I thought, the black community, right? He's real good. And then I was reading somebody else's stuff the other day that's part of, matter of fact, today, that's part of his team. And they was making statements, but mainly towards Trump. And I started to block her ass. You got a lot of people, man, that laugh, kid, and joke in your face and make you think they really have your people back. And then when I spot you, that's what I'm talking about. When I spot you for who you really are. And I'm trying not to call no names. But I blocked that egg. I'm like, you'll never be posting that stuff be coming on my timeline. No, you will not. When I spot you for who you are and this stuff coming on my timeline, I will block you. And you call yourself coming up against my people? I don't play that. And I know you remember the officer, the female, Tashawn and Dante, who I'm talking about. Y'all think I'm a joke. A lot of y'all think I'm a joke when it comes to fighting for our people's civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. Y'all think I'm a joke. American Civil Liberty Union. American Civil Liberty Union. Somebody was making a statement today, right, about illegal immigrants coming in to the United States. Now, what they are coming in a lot. It's like a lot more of them coming in than, say, like we can afford to take care of. So I understand that pushing some of them out. But y'all need to keep in mind, the government pays for their residency too. How I know that? Because I delivered to some of the places they had them in, like the hotels. And that's when I found out that some of them that do cross from where they at into this land, you have organizations or nonprofits like the ACLU. I'm sorry, they're human rights groups, right? The ACLU, they will be right at the border to help so many of them. And then you have the Center for Popular Democracy. They fight for the rights, your human rights. So, America is the land of the free, the brave, and all that. That's why a lot of them run here. That's why a lot of them run here to escape wherever they at. So now, so many of them, yes, the government pays for their residency and all of that. Don't fall for the hype now. I can tell you that straight out. Y'all be sitting back saying, yeah, get rid of them, get rid of them. Yeah, they're going to get rid of so many of them because they coming in like too much. They coming in too much. And it is causing a lot of money, as far as for us to take care of them. Now, reason why I can share some of this too, and to Sean know, when I talk about like helping our people, I have white people coming into the housing program too. And I know we always just focus on poor us, poor us, poor us. And I see all that. I might get a Hispanic or another culture. That fell on hard time and they just need some help. And they'll reach out. They'll reach out. I'm telling y'all. That's why for me, I want my own building now. I want my own building. I know financially I don't have the money to pay for it. I mean, as far as to say, like if a building about about $1 million, something like that, or 2 million, I don't have that type of money. But if you want to business wise work with me and something like that, yes. And for me to rent something from somebody, y'all know that rent might be at least 5,000-7,000 for certain, like a complex, right? So that's not a problem to me with the gas and electric and all of that, because once I start bringing people in, we have to charge you because I don't get government funding. So I have to charge you for your space. That's like a boarding house, right? To make it kind of simple. When y'all be like, what is a temporary housing program? Why you don't let them in for free? Sometimes I do. It all depends on their situation. And be honest with you, I be losing money because I don't make money from this. I don't make money. Somebody called me and I be like, whoa, come on. And like, I gotta stop that. You gotta stop. Because it all depends on where they at. And I'm like, all right, come on. Don't worry about it. They are cheap labor. And I'm going to tell you something I posted to Sean. Now, it was a guy, black guy. I posted on my Facebook page. And he was just saying that too. The point of we looking at the blocks. We're looking at us for being brought in to do work. But now he was talking about that, but not just blocks. You, Dante, don't make me hurt you. Dante, Dante, look, I read all that. I read that, Dante, but look, to see all of that, Dante, later, when I started reading in Philippians, I read Philippians, right? Second chapter. And it talks about emulating Christ's humility, right? If you have any like fellowship, any love, any contact with him, it's talking about being loving, kind, considerate, and thoughtful, right? So now everything you wrote right here, Dante, I read about it because you gotta read scripture to understand certain things. The manuscripts, you break it down and you like, God, show me the truth behind your word. Everything you just wrote, right? So after a while, Dante, from what we reading like this and studying, be honest with you, I thought I was gonna become a Muslim. Or maybe an Israelite. Because when I say Muslim, because I gained great knowledge, you get me? And everything you just wrote, I'm looking at it because now I don't get into, even though we know his, even though we know. Now, I heard somebody say today, Dante, and thank you, brother. Thank you for putting down what you did. I heard somebody, and this would have me walk away some years ago, Dante, from the religion, right? When a guy said, it was Malachi York, and he said a woman cannot have a baby without a man. And to the mind, he was right. Another man just said that from what I was looking at. Said something about the virgin baby. And I said, you know what? I said, that's what made me leave before. But now, when I came back, Dante, and I started with, well, the church I'm at now, when I came back to church, what I had to do, Dante, believe whatever the word is, whatever the word says, believe it for itself, because I started understanding what God does doesn't make sense to the human mind, because we're trying to figure it out. And that's what made me stop doing that. It was like, whatever the words say, don't take from it, don't add to it. It is what it is, and that's the Bible. You know, from some of the stuff you just put in. When a guy told me, Dante, and I was letting him use my Bible when we was over the prison, and he was reading my Bible. Now, mind you, this dude was a Israelite, and he told me, he said that Jesus came back just for the Israelites. He didn't come back. He came back to redeem them to the Father. Now I'm gonna tell you, Bible tell you that. It tells you that. But when he said it, I didn't look at it like that, because I was looking at the transformation that Christ came back for all who believed in him. But when he said that, it was like he ain't come back for y'all. And I almost took my Bible from him. I almost took my Bible. I was gonna say, sucker, give me back my goddamn Bible. You talking trash to me, talking about Jesus ain't come for us too? I'm telling you, Dante, I almost took my Bible from him. But then when I read it again, and I realized he was right as far as God, as far as, wait a minute, to redeem them back to God, the Israelites. And I wanted to tell them so bad, and I might have. Yeah, but every time God delivered y'all from, like, moved y'all into certain areas, y'all turned your back on them. Y'all did this and that. I wanted to tell them, no matter how God tried to work with y'all disappointed them anyway. But I caught myself. I'm like, nope, he's sitting up here trying to brag and stuff about how Christ came back to redeem y'all back to the Father. Then gonna make it seem like he ain't come back for us too. But everything he did to set y'all free, y'all turned y'all back on him and then wanted to go back to Pharaoh. So my thing is, don't come talking that junk to me. My journey, right? Tashawn, I was just reading what you wrote too. My journey, right, as I begin to grow more from the religious side of things, and it became more spiritual. I'm tired of you, what did David say? I mean, Dante, that's in the Bible. His thoughts are not our thoughts. I know. For my thoughts are not your thoughts. That's why, just what you said. That's why, Dante, I had to stop trying to figure God out. I'm like, I don't know. Seriously, just what you saying, Dante. Because what I started realizing too, to be honest with y'all, as human beings, we will try to make sense out of certain things, and scripture-wise too. We will try to make sense out of it, and it's not to make sense out of it. It just is what it is, what it is. And Dante, I was walking around to the store, and I'm talking to God while I'm walking, right? because I know he had bigger and better things for us, Dante. I already know that. But it's like in my heart and in my mind, I'm like, I want it, I want what I want, and I want it right now. But I understand, Dante, everything we're going through. And you see how I'm saying Dante, because Dante is a part. I feel like Dante is a major part of what God is doing with us as a whole, you know. So I know he has bigger and better things, Dante. So as I was walking to the store, I was looking at the two houses that I had, Dante. Then I looked at the building. So I'm looking at how he that's gone. Then he replaced this, right? Bigger and better. And then I watched it, Dante. We preparing this for everything. We preparing this, Dante. We preparing it, right? And I'm talking about 908. We preparing it. I watched something go boom. He shut it down. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? When he shut it down, I didn't understand why, family, but I knew because of the way I was running it, it was running the right way. But it was the people that came about up against me. But he wanted them to see exactly what it takes to do what we do. And to Sean, you already know, sis, we had control over this place. And I was told Mr. Allen said this. When Steve was here, it wasn't like that. I knew it was gonna fall apart. I knew. And Dante, I couldn't really figure it out, bro. You see what you got there? But it's like I knew in a sense that God wanted them to see exactly, I'm gonna say, not the hell, y'all. I don't want to say the hell that I was going through to do what we do. Because I try to do stuff in decency and order, right? But now, because of the chaos and the confusion, I felt like God wanted them to see some stuff. So basically, the people, and I ain't trying to be smart, they paying for it. They paying for it. And my thing is, that's what you get. That's what you get for putting your mouth in my business. This woman, and I ain't talking bad about it, I'm just talking about work that we supposed to have been doing. She's supposed to have a mental health program. When I reached out to her, she's supposed to have a mental health program, Dante, to help my clients with the wraparound service, PRP, therapy, psychiatrist. Why is she calling me and asking me for these type of people? And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, wait a minute, you're supposed to have all this. This is what your company is about. You ain't know, Dante, did you? You ain't know. She wasn't providing the services. So I met somebody else. Well, this guy, wife, had him call me. The moment he came right in with the therapist and everything, providing the services. We cannot move the clients without dealing with their mental health. And all of them, don't get it wrong, all of them don't have like bipolar, schizophrenic, stuff like that. Some of them don't, they just fell on hard times, you get me? And they just need that help in restructuring their lives. And she made me think that's what her business was all about. That was one side. And then that part, I'm subleasing from her. Actually, she's my landlord. Mr. Stern is the owner. Mr. Stern was the permanent side of us putting our temporary people in the housing. She screwed all that up. But now he looking at me like it's me. I said, no, bro, don't even try that. The same way I looked for him to house my clients. I mean, they graduate from the program. Right. Coco do, Tashawn. That's why when I was walking around the corner, I said I wanted to tell you, do not, do not introduce Deborah to Coco. Do not. Thanks, bro. Please don't. Do not. This woman don't even know me. She do not know me. But I can see her bad mouthing me to Coco. Do not do it, because that's not what I'm about. And the sad part about it, rather than a person really getting to know you, they will believe what somebody else say about you. My thing, if you want to know anything about me, Google me. Google strengthening the community. You can look at it on some of my lives. If you want to know about Steve Copeland do not play. Since you said that to Sean, you just got me. It said you better tell him about their history. We help. Listen to what I'm getting ready to say. I do. Sometimes when I look back over stuff, I'm like, damn, boy, you done a lot. We helped Bill Henry and them get that slumlord landlord bill passed. That means you had to get your property up to code. If your property not up to code and I come through your property, I'm doing like this. I know what you're supposed to do. So I was running stuff by Deborah first. What needs to be straight, But every time I would say something to her, she would throw Mr. Stern in. And then she would say, like, he ain't gonna do this, he ain't gonna do that because he's a slumlord. And I was telling her, I said, well, we did this, we did that. And my thing, I wanted to remind him very well who he's dealing with. Right. Dante, that was now, that was the point that disappointed. That was the thing that disappointed me. I called Mr. Stern not too long ago. And I was asking him what date do they have? Well, what date do he plan on evicting the clients? He said, I'm not evicting them, but I'm disappointed in you. I said, man, ho. I called to ask you a question. Oh my God, I almost said honky. I called to ask you a question. And you want to try to read me and attack me. And then he turned around when I told him don't do that. He hung up the phone. Because this the type of person he is. It's a Jewish guy. It's like, I'm going to read you and tell you how I feel, and I'm going to walk off on you. No, you won't. Not Steve. Because if you come for me now, and he was attacking me. So when you attacking me, I'm going to flare up. But if you're talking with me or to me, it's a different thing. When you talk at me, my wall will go up. And then I'm going to come for you. Mainly if you're attacking me with lies. Because of what somebody else said. And the reason why I said do not introduce Coco to Miss Deborah, because she's not going to do nothing but try to tear me down just like she did with Harry. just like she did with the other three. And she tried to turn me down with Christine Flowers too. But Christine Flowers told her, that's not Steve. That's not Steve. And Christine Flowers and Mr. Harry was the one that told me she liked you, Steve. I said, I know, I told y'all. She can't have this beautiful body. Let me stop. Let me stop. But I'm going to tell you, Mr. Harry is a Christian man, right? I don't know if I should say this or not. They told me basically I should have sold my body. I said, what? Yeah. I said, y'all, this like y'all want me to sell my soul. You should have. And you supposed to be a Christian man. I was thinking about him today too, to Sean. I said, he ain't got to worry about me no more. Gonna tell me I should have sold my soul. And Christina Flowers said the same things. Minister Christina Flowers. Tell me I should have sold my soul. I said, Christina, no, you did not. Just to be her friend. I'm like, Catch the word when I said, so sell my soul. I said, no, y'all did not. And I'm talking about these supposed to be some God-fearing people. Dante, I was disappointed in these suckers. And my thing is now, you got to keep them at a distance. If you don't have to be bothered with them, don't be bothered with them. Because once you do that, and I'm trying to be straight on the narrow, you know, with my connection with the Holy Spirit and stuff like that. I ain't trying to be that, crooked, no good. I ain't trying to live like that. You get me? And then when you gonna tell me I should have I'm like, you tell me I should have no. Yeah, cause I'm like, I can't believe you doing this, saying this. I felt like I was selling my soul to the devil, and I ain't lying. For what they said, it was like I was going against everything I believe and I stand for. Like I'm compromising my morals, values, and principles. I was like, mm-mm, 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 you nasty fool. Mm-mm. Ew. Mm-mm. 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 I'm telling y'all, I felt like, wow, so you want me to just for this? Sign my soul to the devil? That's how I felt like it. That's how I felt. Mm-mm. 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 Let me stop. Because I know somebody on here looking, they probably telling me, go look at Steve. Steve on his live. He talking about you on his live. Mm-mm. And I could see some people that know are probably like laughing their asses off in the background. Mm-mm. 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 And that's not the first time, man. I had somebody take me to court, said I was stalking them, took me to court because I wouldn't be their friend. Said, Your Honor, he said he don't like women his age. And he don't like, I said, women over 200 pounds. She said, and he said he don't like women over 600 pounds. I was like, no, I did not. I said too. So, hey, Larry Wallace, you looking? Because you did an interview with him. So look, the judge told her, she said, why would he stalk you if he said he don't care for women his age? and women that weigh over 600 pounds. And I'm looking around like, no, I didn't say 600 pounds. And I'm looking at most of them and they're kind of heavy. And then you can sit up there and say, I don't like women 600 pounds. I did not. So the judge told her, she said, you're not proving your case. And the judge dropped everything. She said, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Then she called herself going downstairs, right, to do something else. And then we ended up, because that was North Avenue, the courthouse at North Avenue to Sean. And this sucker put me down Patterson, took me down, what's that, Patapsco. And look, she got mad because they dropped it in there. I had a public defender. Public defender came up to me. He said, Mr. Copeland, he said, I went on your Facebook page and I found out you're not the man they trying to make you out to be. I was like, thank you. Because I ain't got to try to explain myself. I talk too damn much. I had 2 people do that. My lawyer told me. He said, Mr. Copeland, he said, I went on your page and I found out you're not the man. Now, this was when the 2 polices, a police officer, and Tashawn, you know who they were. Well, you know the officer himself, but the officer, right? And the detective lady got mad at me because I gave her a 2-minute sermon every time she asked me a question. What you say? Who? You say, I love all that fat cheese chocolate. Who? You bet not. Oh, you said you waiting for your girl. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. My girl is too old. That's good. You know, when I say that to Sean, a lot of people get offended. I got you. And I'm not, I just know what I like. Let me put it like that. Now that I'm a little bit older, my goal. I say certain things. Hey, Dante, and I'm going to say this. Because I just thought about what Dante had posted. I can say certain things out my mouth. Like, I don't date women my age. And I don't date, like, women over 200 pounds. I can say that. But I never know who God might put in my life. You get me? So I say certain things because I know what turns me on. I know what I like. I know what I desire. And if you don't turn me on, and I'm going to tell y'all, Tashawn, I hear a lot of people talk about certain things, but I don't hear y'all no more talk about the attraction. You know, I hear y'all talking about molding and shaping whoever. That's a big no-no. That's a big no-no. So what I've learned throughout my years, I know what I like, what I desire, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a spring chicken. So I have to desire you. See what I'm doing? If I don't find you attractive, this gonna be like, nope. I'll be like, come on, now, Stain. I don't like her. I'm just joking. And that's what I learned. Look, it was now. This was years ago. Tashawn, this was years ago, right? And I had went into like a dollar store. And I happened to look this female straight in her eyes. And I was like, oh my God. Thank you, Sarge. Y'all know the eye contact? And I was memorized. And I wanted her bad. I wanted her bad. I'm telling you, I was like, memorize. And y'all hear stuff like that, right? And I actually experienced it for myself. And I don't know what happened to her, but y'all know I went shopping for her, right? And I mean, we like locked eyes. Oh my God, that was a while back too. And I'm not, I see a lot, don't get it wrong, beautiful women that I know around my age, a little bit older, nice body, you know. Um, just like with me, I try to work on myself, shaping up and stuff like that, so that, you know, handsome dude. Try not to be too flabby. And that's not to knock nobody. I used to be a real big dude, you know. But it's like now I'm a little bit older, trying to tone up so I can bring something to the table that's really exciting. And I miss during the days I used to court and stuff like that. I would go to Greenbelt, Maryland. I would go to College Park. I would go to Hyattsville. And these areas I'm talking about, I would go walk through their parks and stuff. Might have waterfalls, romantic, because I'm a very romantic guy. And I haven't had a serious relationship in 6 years now. And I missed that. I was telling my son the other day how I said it's a park off of Falls Road with the waterfall and everything. And I said, when I first met your mother, I took her through that park. And I said, we wrote our names on a tree. We carved our names in the tree, right? And I said, I tell you right now, if I was to go back, couldn't find that goddamn on tree, I would be surprised if I walk in that park again and go back up towards where we went. And I would be surprised if I be guided back to that tree. I'd be like, oh my God. And I carved our name in it. No, most of them, Tashawn, most of them that I dated, right, they came from the inner city. But because being the romantic guy that I am, I learned to take them out of the city and take them to places that I felt like they never been to and they would have enjoyed, you know. So when I say College Park, you know the university there. I used to deliver I used to deliver at College Park a lot. I used to deliver Greenbelt. I used to, all this right there that I'm talking about Hyattsville. Um, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Never mind, I ain't telling y'all that deep. But because I drove tractor trailers, whenever I would deliver certain places and I would glance over at like parks and you see people walking in there, walking their dogs, it was just romantic stuff. I would even go to the movies out there. I would take you to dinner out there. Columbia, Maryland, you know, and they are a little bit more expensive out there. So I would take the females out to those type of places. And the ones that might act a little ghetto, you ain't coming no more. You ain't coming no more. I ain't gotta worry about you. If I take you somewhere like to a classy place and that ghetto start coming out, just like nope, never mind. So I'm then this was years and years and years and years and years. What you say, Tillen, in Washington D.C., Howard University? I used to go to Howard. I used to deliver to Howard University too. Yep. So when I heard that the National Guard is over there at Howard University, I'm like, I used to go down near the White House, right? White House down there, Howard University back that way. Now, it's another Howard University. Name a couple of more, because I used to Tacoma Park. I used to drive. That was before 9/11, where tractor trailers can go into those areas. Once I came in New York and hit Florida Avenue, 14th and U, all of that, the zoo, all of that. I used to. Now, I'm going to tell you, I didn't travel too much into the hooded areas, right? And this one female that I was dating, she wanted to go over there into like the hooded areas because she wanted to see what was what. So, I had to look it up on the map. What was it, like a northeast, something like that? But anyway, once I went in and made that left, because as you come in from New York Avenue, then you hit Florida. That was the get-go to everything. I'm trying to think, Tashawn, because it's people in DC that reached out to me about, the homelessness in DC as well. But now, mind you, Christina Flowers no more. Well, she visited a lot more than me. But when it came to us communicating, certain people would call me and tell me about certain things that's happening over there. But I did have some that would come and they would visit, mainly when we was under I-83. And they would come and visit us under I-83. I don't think you remember, but I had that trailer under I-83 that I turned into offices under I-83. And then, they shut that down too. So for a lot of y'all, and it's not to judge y'all, please don't get it wrong. For a lot of y'all that likes just to talk about certain things, mainly on TikTok. You just talk. Hey, what's up, Dark Knight? You just talk, but I be trying to listen to what is y'all actually doing, wherever your community at. What are y'all doing to help improve? But you have so many people, politics-wise, they understand all of that. But when it comes to using that information to improve other people's lives, y'all just do this. And then if I come up on anybody's platform and I say something about, well, what is you doing to improve the community? Or what is you doing to do this and do that? It's coming along. We're in the process of moving them out. So that's why, I ask people, when we know the problems that's in our communities, you have some that will actually create programs to help resolve some of the issues. Then you have some, and I don't like when y'all do this. I do not like when we do this. When there are homeless people that's living beneath you, and you down them, that's terrible. That's terrible. All right. That's terrible. And I hear a lot of y'all do that. I hear a lot of black people do that on TikTok. But then you'll turn around and say, well, the white man, the white man, the white man. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? But you done downed your own people. But then you think the white man, the white man. Because it's like we programmed. You program. And I had to understand too, Dante, I don't know if you're still there or not, but I had to understand this world don't exist just of black and white people. And I'm just saying this for TikTok. You might get a white man and come up there, right? And he might tell y'all the way he grew up and suffered from the way he grew up, similar to the way we grew up. And y'all would turn around and knock him because he's white. Or you might have a Hispanic person that's going to tell you, well, we went through the same thing. Like, not like us. I'm like, no, you not. The only reason why I can say that, right? Because when Communities United in Us went to Detroit, you could not tell me that the black people wasn't the only people that suffered. And we went up to support, I was going to say the immigrants, right? But they might have been Hispanics or one of them cultures, right? And that's when I realized black people ain't the only people that suffer. That the big wheels tend to, put their knees or their feet on our necks. And that's when I realized that. I realized because we went up there marching for another group of people, ethnic group or culture. And that's when it hit me that blacks aren't the only ones that suffer. So if you haven't been out of wherever you at to see, it's a lot of other ethnic groups. But the first thing we'll do, no, not like us, not like us, not no. And at 63 years old, and this is 2025, a lot of us have not struggled like our ancestors. We got more freedom and more rights than they had. But y'all will sit back and put your mindset in the hell they went through and act like you're going through it today. And I'll be like, no, the hell? We have more ways and means to overcome a lot of this. I know, Tashawn, Christopher Columbus discovered America. And if you read, and America was already here. But now, if you read up about that, it was a black man with him during that time too. Matter of fact, I don't know if it was saying that the black man was already on that. Wait a minute, I'm trying to get it back in my head. But I found out, like with a lot of patterns that the white man might have had, the black man had it too. And some of them worked together during them times. But that's what happened when you don't really do your history or your research. Now, some of y'all can search that information and have photographic memories with it, not Steve Copeland. So I remember I read and I study stuff, but I only understand enough to help me fight whatever battle that I need to fight for us. Where a lot more of y'all is deeper with it. I just don't want all that on my brain, to be honest with y'all. I don't want it. I don't. I try to keep stuff as simple as I can. So, like let me go back to when my man Dante, very educated man, very knowledgeable man, right? He's one of the guys that's with us that can teach tutoring. Matter of fact, if you want to get your high school diploma, this is what he's all about. And I don't know how far with certain degrees he might can work with you too, but he is an educator, and this is his profession. So he reached out. Matter of fact, he tutored my baby girl, right? So I reached out to Dante because of the work he do. And we have a lot of uneducated, homeless, and less fortunate people, women as well. That's what I'm trying to get to. If they want to, get their GEDs, and I always say GED or high school diploma, Dante can do the work. That's what we was doing at the building. I set up an office for Dante. And in our, I'm gonna say it was like a day room. I wanted to fix it where we could have a table. Well, we got a table in there, but just fix it where if he want to teach classes, he can teach classes. He can teach one-on-one stuff like that too. So that's what we were setting that up for. Not only that, I have a pastor that's with us. So if she wanted to minister to somebody or talk to somebody one-on-one, she can take them in her office, or she can go into that room, because the goal was to get everybody to come down, those that's willing to come down. So as she ministered to them and feed them spiritually, all of that we have set up at 908. And Deborah, I hope you listening, sis, because you came in and spoiled it all. You spoiled it all. You came into my program and you ruined it. That's just for that building, because you can't stop what God had for us, sis. That's what I was saying to Sean. He's tutoring. That's my goddamn daughter too. I don't know what you mean, your daughter. Girl, you better stop playing with me. You better stop. But and I was looking for. I'm telling you, like the kids in the building. What you say? Right. Ouch. Yeah. Like the kids in the building. Um, I was trying to get, like, some of them didn't go to school, and we had a guy that would come in and would take them to school. Then it got to the point I found out he wasn't taking them. What you say? You can't play with me. Your hands right now. The heck with you, Tashawn. That's my right hand. That's my baby right there. Tashawn, that's my baby. Out of everybody, and Tashawn been knowing me a lot longer too. But out of everybody that, and Phyllis too. Phyllis there. I know Phyllis got my back too. Um, but Tashawn, that's my right hand man. That's my right hand woman. That's my right, because she don't know what she want. That's my right. Let me stop. That's my right hand man. That's my right hand woman. She probably said, "I'm gonna punch in your mouth, big head." But she actually makes sure everything. She's making sure everything is going right. And I'm really, really, really proud of Tashawn. I really am. And she's hooking the ones up with Coco that really wants to come out. And Coco has some beautiful places, y'all. I'm telling you. And like she told me, she said, Steve, she said the lowest I go is 700. I said, okay. Okay. So my thing is, certain clients, I know y'all can do what you gotta do, because I know, number one, they're gonna be put somewhere beautiful. I already know that. You dumb. You dumb, Tashawn. I told you sometimes I want some nut. Sometimes I want that wet rat. You need to shut up, Tashawn. Shut up. That's my baby. That's my baby. We can kid and joke about stuff like that. And that's what the Couch Conversation Show is about, family. Where we can come on, and if TikTok wasn't so strict, I would have embedded TikTok into my regular broadcast network, right? But because TikTok is so strict, certain words we would use, they probably would cut it off. And I want y'all to know this too. I haven't said it a lot, but, and these are my people that's on my Facebook page. Understand, this is a live stream broadcast network that I'm talking on. It's a 24/7. So say like if you got stuff that you want to sell, you want to come on here and talk about, you can pay for a space, because this is what it's about. It's a broadcast network. Now, 24/7. Now the goal is with my broadcast network, I need a studio production. You know what I mean? With the cameras and all of that, or if not that. Now, if you have a project that you trying to do at home, but you want to put it out there, you at home, see where I'm sitting at, you can actually live stream on my broadcast network from where you at. And mind you, even though I see 8 um viewers, oh, it's more in the background. It's more than that. I already know that. That's why I do what I do. Even if I have 2 or 3, I know it's a lot in the background. And you know I'm gonna hurt y'all, right? A lot of my church members looking. A lot of NA friends looking. They like, I ain't going on Steve stuff. I don't want nobody to know I know it. I know you, because when I see y'all in the street, y'all be like, man, I seen you the other day. I be like, hey, you ain't put a like or something. I know y'all be seeing me. And I can't be honest, I can't blame y'all. I can't blame y'all, because I know sometimes I'm freaking embarrassing. Y'all want to call me a ghetto Jasmine Crockett too, right? Ain't no ghetto. Tony, where you at, Tony? Tony, that dude the go-go, he told me I'm ghetto. I'm like, boy, you better cut that. Told me I was ghetto. And the reason why people say that, I keep saying it by me being a community activist, a human rights advocate, stuff like that. My mouth is like my biggest weapon for fighting corruption. And you will miss it. I know. Thank you to Sean. To Sean said, no, you the ghetto Malcolm. That's all right. Forget you, Tashawn. You just hurt my feelings. You could have said I'm like Malcolm X, but she said I'm the ghetto Malcolm X. All right, Tashawn. You just hurt my feelings. But I'm going to accept that, because you put Malcolm X right there. I didn't know. Shut up! Shut up, Tashawn. I didn't know. I did not know, y'all. And what I'm saying is that I'm a spiritual warrior. I kept saying it, right? I said, my mouth, my mouth is my biggest weapon for the body of Christ. I said, my mouth is the biggest weapon. And somebody sent me something and said, spiritual warrior. And it described me to a T. Now, mind you, I'm an ordained deacon. So everything that deacon was called to do, I do. I'm talking about the actual work itself. I do. Right? But it's my mouth too. Right? So a lot of times we will look for certain people, like your pastors, your bishops, your elders, your preachers, your teachers, and stuff like that. And I believe we will put them on a pedestal of perfection. Don't do it. Do not do it. Because if you, as a human being, keep in mind, you might have certain things that you struggle with, right? That doesn't make you a bad person. That just means you're struggling with it and you haven't let it go yet. You might have pastors, minister elders who God called and they preach a good word. That's they call them. They preach a good word. But we never know unless they tell you what they're struggling with on a personal note. And I'm going to do this to Sean. Shut up in your big in your mouth. Right, wait a minute, that red rag in your mouth. Now, this reason why I'm saying this to Sean, and God bless him, Eddie Long. Eddie Long struggled for years with his sexuality, with his smecks, with his smecks, right? But when it came to the ministry, no matter how he struggled in his personal life, he didn't turn his back on the ministry. And that's what y'all fail to see. Shut up. I ain't messing with no Norm. But look, and not only that, it's a lot more of them that struggled in certain areas of their life. My battery low. It's gonna die in a minute. My restream. But I'm gonna go ahead to Sean. I might have to end this because my battery running low on this, so I'm gonna have to end it. And it's only 2 hours though. They normally start doing it after 3 hours. But now, I'm just saying for me, not to judge like my brothers and sisters in Christ. But now the only time I come up against you when you're trying to tear other people down, because I mean, we all have something that we struggle with, and then you want to take the word and apply it to somebody else's life and condemn them. Now I could see if you apply it to encourage and motivate them to walk up out of whatever situation they're dealing with. But when you set up there and use Bible to bash somebody's faults, that's a problem. Because the thing is, we tend to do it and we're no different. That might not be your struggle, like smacks might not be your struggle, but it might be food, or it could be lying, or it could be manipulating, or it could be cheating. So you got to evaluate yourself. And that's why for me, when I say certain things, I have to look at Steve. That's why I don't have a problem talking about Steve and the certain things that occur in Steve's life that he has overcame. Because now I can go back after certain things that I struggle with and I'm not struggling with today. I can go back and say, hey, these are the steps. This is the process in helping you move forward. So that's why when I try to listen to a lot of people, because Sean, I know you smoke. Yes, I don't know. It's all right. when you're ready to let it go. You gotta do the necessary work. But some things you have to have that desire. And can't nobody measure your desire to let things go or to surrender. Can't nobody measure your desire. So sometimes people struggle with stuff. So it's not to look at you in a bad way. And I was thinking about a friend of mine, right? And I've been knowing this guy, Tashawn. Yeah, I know well over 25 years, right? And I remember when his daughters was like young girls now. So I think his oldest one probably around the age of mine. Mine's like 36, my oldest. But anyway, I was thinking about him, and he struggled all these years. He would get clean, later he would use. He would get clean, later he would use. But the reason why I'm saying that, because all out the years, it wasn't never to judge him, but accept him for where he's at. And then anytime you have somebody that's struggling in that area and they continue, the point I'm trying to make with the stuff that's out there now, if God blessed them with another day, thank you. Because it could, take them down. If God bless them with another day, thank you. Because there's a good chance, whatever time he bless him, he can stop. If he really, but you gotta have that desire to stop. And then once you stop, you have to practice a day at a time stopping. I know, Tashawn, you have to. Because you know what? I didn't realize this, Tashawn. A day at a time. Just a day at a time. I can say this. I have 32 years in that area. That's not something I'm playing. A day at a time. I have 32 years. January the 25th, 26th, I'm sorry. I'll have 33 years clean. Just a day, just a day at a time. If I make it to see that. Now, be honest with you, just for the day, I don't want to use. And I done been through some stuff. Now, when they gave me like the meds for my feet, I would be in pain as much as I could take it. And I would explain to them the reason why I don't care to take, what's that, the Oxycontin. But if I heard it, I'm telling y'all, when they operated on my feet that second time, I was hurting like crazy. I'm like, give me the pill. I was like, I was feeling that one. I'm like, give me the pill. And I can tell y'all, whenever I take a pill, whatever area that's hurting, it tends to ease the pain in that area. I know some people might take meds, right? And it might not ease that pain in that area. But whatever that's going on here to that pain, cool, Tashawn. No alcohol. Woo! 22 years. And see, that was my biggest thing, alcohol. Because I was doing that since I was 13. So, oof. Woo. So, and if this click off, Tashawn, because I'm at 6%, so this is going to end up clicking off. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and end this because it's going to click y'all off. I love you, baby girl. All right, so I'm going to end this right here.